Well, I'd like to welcome everyone back to another episode. I'm finally up further in the canyon. As you could probably tell, you see some tops of the little hills over this way. There's trails that connect to the actual mountaintops here in my hometown, so it's pretty cool. Set aside maybe 3 hours or so, you can hike to the top of a mountain and back. But yeah, it really is where this area starts to get beautiful. The local dam over there. And yeah, luckily not too much trash up here, but as you'll soon see, a lot of broken glass, which makes it difficult to even pick up. But man, yeah, it's been a while. Looks Dr. Seussy, these trees, this whole landscape. Very awesome. But yeah, the holiday season flew by. We're flung into the new year. It's already 9 days in. Actually, more than 9 days in. Holy shit. But yeah, as always, time flies. Oh. It is always nice being out here. Slows it down a bit for sure. What an odd topic of today, though. Time. What does that even mean? We know what it means from our perspective. We mapped it out. Which is really weird when you think about it. There was a point in time for humans where there was no concept of time. They realized, oh wow, my hair falls out, turns gray, my teeth get old, fall out. They realized, oh, we're getting older. Eventually we pass on. They're able to map it down to seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, and it's a pretty good system we have. But, it distracts us from this, which might be a good thing, who knows, but what really is time? It baffles us. Wow, millions of years for all these things to form, and it should. It's amazing. But what really is a million years in the grand scheme of things in the universe? A blink of an eye is probably existence as a whole for this cosmic existence, just a blink of an eye. And humans, maybe we, as fast as it feels, are slowing it down a bit. All these conflicting perspectives, personalities. The cosmos don't have those, and maybe now they do. But it's just an interesting thing to think about. Time. I don't even say everyone's intrigued by it. Some people don't give it a second thought. Again, power to them. I'm not that, I don't know, passive maybe the word is. I can't just... how am I not remember his name? George Carlin, a very good stand-up comedian, had a really great show based around time and just a lot of funny things that we don't speculate on more often. That was 40 years ago now, maybe even longer. But just a really, really insightful and funny. It's great to be able to talk about heavy subjects and laugh. And I think that's what George Carlin did the best. But yeah, look up his things on time if you haven't seen that. It's very, very good watch. Worth the time for sure. But yeah, it is an interesting topic that's out there. And it can overwhelm you. A lot of things can. I used to a lot as a kid, this idea of an eternity in heaven. But you come to realize, God, what even is eternity? If I'm surely not going to be able to fathom it, so I don't let my ideas that worry me, but time really is something that we'll never be able to define or have a way of understanding. It's just kind of existing. The best way, it's almost like a TV isn't counting how long it's on. Maybe now they are, these new smart TVs, but the TV switches on. I think I might have already used this analogy before, but now it's on the human channel. At least for us, that's what it is. And there's an infinity of channels it has to get through, and there's no specified slot time, no air dates, no, it's all just a stream of, it comes and goes, kind of like how we have now. Whoop, didn't realize I was zooming in there. But yeah, you could see more of the colors there. Just really a nice way of things. But yeah, this idea of time really stuck to me more during the holidays. When some of my friends came back down, I was able to talk more. Seeing my younger cousins entering phases that I was at in my mid-high school entering. And no, I can't say it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. They're understanding, they're getting that first taste of, oh wow, like time does change. Like middle school was kind of a nice break period, and now they're entering that junior year phase where they've already gone through a middle school and high school, if that makes sense, 3 years. And from what I heard, they said it, went by quicker. Like, I think everyone feels that to an extent. Maybe not everyone. I certainly did. 4 years in high school went by quicker than 3 years in middle school. It's, he and she, they're all of them breaking them down differently too, which I always think is cool. You can see the same understanding of time passing expressed differently through different people. Maybe some worry more, some are confident in preparing more. I certainly know I was a worrier at that age, but it's cool now. Now I'm in a different phase that they'll enter too at some point, which is even weirder. The cycle continues, but yeah, I'm looking back, and it's interesting for me because I'm like, okay, now I can give advice, so I wish what I heard or what I've learned from that stage. And, it's a period I'm happy I'm here for and can enjoy for as long as it lasts. But yeah, now we come to, I don't know what's going to go with there. But yeah, a lot of things really inspired. Just seeing how friends have changed in and again, in good ways. Come shit talk my friends on the podcast 10 people watch, but hey, maybe that'd be funny. But no, they're all good guys, and just seeing how gonna talk too fast, which is what I like about my friend group is everyone has like a core persona that they're strongly tied to, yet they're very, I don't even want to say open-minded, it's generic, but it allows their personality to explore a lot. So everyone's kind of changing, but you can still rely on their same baseline personality if you need it, which is fun, makes things interesting. And everyone's always throwing new ideas out there, whether if it's creativity or something. I enjoy it. And yeah, so it's always cool. One of them's gotten more into the philosophy side of things, and he's older, so it's kind of cool seeing, he's in a phase where I might be, but we're both kind of sharing we're both learning from the same, sorry, I'm stumbling this. It's just interesting that we're at different ages, experiencing different things, yet we can both sit down, read the same book, and express the same thoughts, and use those thoughts in our daily life. And not that I have to do with someone like my exact age, but it's just cool because you can see how the slight differences in our lives affect how we're going to use this in our life. And yeah, it's just really nice having a friend group with a sense of shared awareness. We're all very aware of ourselves and others, which, I think we all know that. We can, but, and that's what makes us close, I think, and we'll always kind of have a lasting bond in a sense. I say that now when we're all 40 on crack in different rundown cities, but we'll enjoy it while it lasts, while we're young and spry. But no, yeah, this And just hearing their ideas on time is one thing I really like. Because I'm never certain. I hope, again, nothing I say on this ever comes with any degree of certainty, although at times it'll feel like for me, and maybe my tone will suggest that, but it's all speculation. And sometimes I do think it's 100% certain, especially when it's something that worries me. But so hearing these different ideas and realizing, like, hey, there's a potential that all of this is true. Just simply communicating about it. And yeah, so that was one thing I really got to do this holiday season, was even with not even friends alone, but family as well. This really kind of understanding where people at in their lives right now. Not that I enjoy, well, I don't really enjoy forced casual conversation. Oh, how you doing? Good. Like, it's, that stuff where it's, you kind of save it for when you don't know what to talk about, and it's almost like they have like the generic answers for it, where it's not even like a real dialogue, but it's like, okay, I gotta make the initiative to try. And not that my family does that at all. They're all very, I don't even want to say talkative because that sounds demeaning, but they're very friendly and willing to listen and respond and even critique, which is good. All good things. It shows that there's no that they're real around each other. Same with my friend group. It's just like a real interaction. And I had the tendency to fall into those type of responses as a kid, whether I was just nervous or whatever. So that was my main thing, trying to break that kind of repetitive dialogue, that's bound to come at any point. And yeah, it was really nice. Even the new year, kind of stumbled into it again, but I'm sure everyone did in a sense. All this COVID craze really makes it hard to even differentiate between the months and days that are passing, which is nice. Like, time really was this steady stream thing, and us humans gave different meaning to it. Like, there wasn't just, Christmas didn't just exist, or the feeling associated with Christmas. Maybe in some ways, the mysticism, the enjoyment, just that holiday nostalgia. So many great things about Christmas and that holiday season. But time was just moving. And with everything, humans established a day, then emotions came with that day, and before you know it, you have a whole just meaning. And damn, for 30 days, some people 60, to the start of November, just Christmas starts, and it's just beautiful things in a lot of ways. And then there's the marketing side, there's always bound to be negatives, but at its core, it's a beautiful piece of human history. And I love Halloween, I love all the holidays, and it's just great how, those things weren't a given. It's not like those are going to continue forever, which they're just happening and we jumped on for the ride. Oh, but we made them. And I hope for as long as humans are here. There's a plane passing overhead. Let's see if I can get it. Nope. But yeah. And for as long as humans are here, there'll be that sense of wonder, I hope. That's probably the best word. A sense of wonder. And, fun, enjoyment, obviously. But it's cool, even something like this summer. Something that probably, you can say, is a natural occurring thing. It gets hotter, this and that. But we attached all that, beach vibes, all this cool summer shit with it. And, yeah, even, David Lynch gave a good talk on inspiration. It's like it was great to hear that someone felt the same way I did about how it comes. Like, I can't force it, but sometimes I'm taking recyclables out early in the morning, or just walking by the pool when it's chilly. A breeze will hit me or bring a scent up my nose, and the way the houses look for a second will really Sometimes it's like a really specific thing, like, wow, 6th grade, early morning before school, or early morning before cross country in high school. It almost seems random. But it's really, I don't know, something else. That nostalgia trip time can play on you. And one thing, I can never be certain is about time or my idea of it. My core thoughts, one of my core thoughts about it is it's just kind of like I don't have a good way of explaining it, but almost like someone has a rope and on the ground and they whip the rope really quick, and there's that loop that goes all the way till the end of the rope. If you've ever seen a cartoon, I'm sure there's a scene like that. You can get what I'm explaining, but it's just kind of this, I don't know, this burst that's just going and going, experiencing all these different things until it just kind of ends, and we really are what slow it down. Again, it's like the human channel. Then who knows what the next channel will be, the next phase of life, if there's multiple phases happening at once. It's just so strange in so many ways. Another idea me and my friend talked about, all my friends, it's just kind of this weird, there was a point, in time where human life was present. Conscious life to an extent, like lizards maybe with the trees and dinosaurs, but would life be meaningful if it was only plants, just plants existing? We're kind of sitting there and, ooh yeah, our hippie thoughts or something, but we really thought like, well yeah, like, because that is going to be a point in time possibly, where it's only these few sparing shrubs left, but who's to say that's any less meaningful than the very first shrubs to form? You just kind of get, we like to think time doesn't forget us, but it definitely just moves on, Fuck. Felt something crawling on my back. And who knows how long it's been moving on. We could very well be the first phase of existence. I doubt that. It just seems too unlikely, but at the same time, why does that even matter? If you're here, something's bound to come after. Some awesome birds chirping overhead. But yeah, this is a good pause point. I'll get down this ravine, hopefully with the new topic at hand. Here we go down the side of this. Ooh, lizard scampered by. Shit. Whew. Now people can see the danger I put myself in. Danger. The worst thing are just the little thorns that get in your shoes, in between your socks. Ow. Here. Ah. Fuck. How far do you? Okay. I think I'm good. Hope so. Well, this is what I got so far. Probably bring my car up to get that. A pile of glass. Kind of hard to get all the glass together. I forgot the damn sweeper, but we'll work with it. Oh. But yeah. Where else can we go with this idea of time? I really liked I rewatched The Christmas Carol It's one of the few Christmas movies I watched this year. But I really like that animated one from 2010. There's a lot of other great ones, but for some reason, maybe it's because it was the first one I saw as a kid. But just that idea. He wasted his whole life, poor say. You would think that's the end message, but then his takeaway is, damn, I had a little time to begin with, and I have even smaller amount of time now. But I can do the most I can, and it's the last spirit who tells him, like, just a great takeaway message. Like, we're only here for a short while to do as little. No, we're here for a little while to do the most good that we can. And he's kind of makes him realize, well, like, shit. It adds an odd philosophical concept. Because people would say, oh, if time just forgets about us and it keeps moving on, what's the point then? It's meaningless. Well, the fact that it's happening anyways, why would you, if it really was meaningless, then bam, why wouldn't it just be nothing? You could get onto that whole point of, oh, what nothing really is, but if there was nothing at some point and bound to be nothing again, why would you live your life like that nothing is already here? The fact we have something now, it should show you that the meaning, I wish I could say the meaning is worth doing, but there's got to be a better way to put that. I do believe the meaning is worth doing. Not necessarily to get you into heaven or save you from hell, but just in terms of the rewarding factor, what you can really get out of life is so much more enjoyable, enlightening, spiritually fucking fulfilling, is if you treat life like it really is the miracle that it is, instead of just this, oh, let's move on, it's gonna forget about me, what's the point, it's meaningless. And it's like, dude, you're missing the point. Yeah, it is meaningless, maybe someday, but not now. Definitely not now. And that's what the Mr. Scrooge realizes, or what he didn't even think life was necessarily meaningless. He just, the profit, the money aspect consumed his whole idea of life. And then, yeah, at the end of the movie, it's awesome. But, yeah, so that's the constant battle. You're always going to battle that with understanding. Is there meaning? Like when you're on the quest for understanding, that's probably one of the toughest spots you'll get. Like, what's the point of it all? Then I can ask questions forever. And yeah, not you, but there'll be things, hopefully, to question forever. And again, what is eternity then? As far as eternity is concerned, it started. It had a start day. I guess it doesn't have a fucking stop, but this idea eternity must be so long. Well, it doesn't even have an idea of how long it is. If it truly is eternal, God, again, you have to visualize, but how can you even put eternity into a feasible, plausible, or thinkable idea? The closest thing you'd get, like, oh, okay, the starting point must also be it doesn't have an end point, obviously, because it's eternal. But there has to be something that makes it I don't have a science degree, folks. I don't have anything that gives me authority to talk about this, but again, it's all just a cool speculation, because you try to fathom it in your head. It just like goes forever, straight line that goes forever, eternity, but you bend it into itself, or circle maybe, and you try to get an idea of how the universe would be shaped, the eternal. But the best thing I've been able to think of it is, again, you go back to that something versus nothing. What does eternity mean? Well, what if eternity isn't this ongoing thing that we just think exists? Eternity literally is just existence in itself. Once something's over, it doesn't get removed from eternity. It's almost, again, just that whip. going back and forth, and maybe eternity is just a point, point A, not necessarily going to point B, but expanding as far out as it can before returning back to point A again. And people say like, oh, okay, the Big Bang then, and, maybe is the Big Bang recurring? How many times does it happen? Are there multiple? There's so many questions once you start to merge it with science. About infinity, eternity, who knows? But if you look at the something versus nothing, there is nothing, the infinity and eternity before. This is the part of the infinity. A car coming up now. I'll pass by. Oh. I try not to get people's license plates, just for the respect them. But yeah, it would make sense that infinity and eternity, their start point and their quote-unquote end point are existing at the same time. So the fact that there's space dust before the first molecules, you can say that that was the start of eternity, even though it wasn't. But what makes it eternal is it's bound to return to the same place from which it came. That's probably the easiest way to break it down into philosophic terms. But yeah, so it's probably the best way to put it that I've thought of, and I thought of that just now, in all honesty. But what makes it eternal, life eternal, is it's returning to the place from which it came. And again, it's not I can't even say that with 100% certainty, but it's an interesting way to map it, kind of that full circle effect. Whether that means it's just going to be all stardust again, who knows? But, I'll go pick up that bag of trash. Look at that cool, you get such different, vibrant color tones out here, seemingly at random. Okay. Might be a little dangerous, but I'll go slow. There's no rules out here in the canyon. I can film and drive. But, yeah, you might be asking yourself, well, if it's true what you say, time is bound to leave me behind, which it is. That's one truth you can take from this. In a way it is. How do I live a purposeful life then? Well, the great thing is, yeah, time will leave you behind, our idea of time, but you're not going to get thrown out of eternal bliss and eternal meaning, just the universe won't forget about you. Well, I can't, it might not forget about you in the way that you would want it to. You'd want to live on as, the image you represent, but at the end of the day, we make room for others, if that's kind of the point of it all. We experience life, we critique it, we learn from it, and at the end of the day, someone else is going to come and take our spot in a way and do what they can. Someone else will take their spot. And again, Alan Watts, it's a lot more interesting for life to happen that way. You would like to think we live forever, it gives it more meaning, but it really wouldn't. It'd get boring after a while. Nothing would be new. And you think, oh, why does life have to be so confusing? Why aren't there any reasons? Why is meaning subjective? Why this and that? Well, because there wouldn't be a point then. And that's something you gotta understand. Maybe, whether it's conscious or not. Oh, whoops. Do a quick little turn around here. There we go. Regardless of whether it was a conscious decision by the universe, because the universe holds all truth, and if there's a God, why wouldn't we be living with this truth? Because there'd be no point to living then. If you knew how to live life and didn't have any questions for it, you think, we'd only be able to enjoy it, but no, it wouldn't even be living. I wish I could say, that's what death will be, a complete understanding, but not, maybe it is, but not an eternal understanding. Maybe for a moment you realize everything and it makes you okay with the fact that it's over and you're moving on to a different plane of existence, maybe not a conscious one. Had to drive a little deeper. There are no real good turnaround points. But yeah, and again, it's all a ripple effect. The meaning, if you live a meaningless life, you'll very well live a meaningless life. There's going to be no eternal energy. Maybe there is, but no eternal energy that's going to save you necessarily from wasting your life. If you do, you did. That's it. But on the other hand, what makes a seemingly meaningless life meaningful is what you do to, establish that meaning. Whether it's communicating with other people, bettering yourself. There's so many ways you can do it. And what you leave behind, the people you inspire, what they look at, even if one day that will fade too, it's this eternal ripple effect. And, life on Earth, it might not perceive life on Earth in the universe, and that might not be fulfilling for some people, but it's like, hey, this is your chance, man. It's all an opportunity. The idea that this is pre-decided, or you shouldn't think to be proud of yourself for what you did because it was, it's just, purpose is never to be known, I guess, is the best way of putting it. You might think you know what your purpose is, and some people may very well find what their purpose is, but it's always going to be an uncertain, adventure trying to find what the meaning for your existence is, what brings you happiness, fulfillment, all these things. There might not be one specific thing out there. I know for me, there really isn't my one defining purpose. It's a kind of my new word, clusterfuck, but try not to curse as much. But really, it's just a clusterfuck of different mindsets of inspiration, different things that keep me driven. Motivation's always a little hard to come by, but again, that's the point. I wish I can be forever motivated, but not by one coherent truth. Like, I know the meaning. That's why that rewarding aspect is there. It's not, if I find purpose in life and I'm sitting there completely fulfilled, maybe I'll think, damn, this was my one thing I was meant to do, and that may very well be true. What makes it even more rewarding is the fact if it isn't, if there really was a true calling that I just ignored, then damn, I really put in the work and made this into something that can compete with that, and people reinvent themselves all the time, learn new things. It's crazy how life really does give you the opportunity to experience these different things. Like for me, a big one was I had a lot of great memories being good at fucking soccer as a kid. Like, damn, just the idea of scoring goals, it's still a great nostalgic thing I have now. I'll get out and get this bag. But once high school came around, I kind of fucking, there we go. And once high school came around, I kind of fucking sucked. I made a lot of good memories with friends, but not necessarily playing. Again, I can't complain. There we go. Made a lot of great memories some kids never had the chance of making. And for a while, I thought soccer was my purpose in life, especially as a fucking elementary school, middle schooler when I hit my peak. Hit my peak in middle school, man. But no, but like, again, it's something I'll never regret. Just the wonder of that time. Wow, maybe it is possible. You know, you score goals, you have a really good game, and you watch the big players on TV. I played FIFA. I was just so deeply connected and rooted with everything soccer. And, whew, it was about freshman year when I first kind of like started laughing at the idea, like, oh fuck, like, maybe not a professional, but hey, college would be fun at least. And then around junior year, I realized, like, wow, college is even going to be hard. Like, if I had focused on it more, maybe. And yeah, and it just kind of became a thing, a background. It kind of took the back seat. And I knew things. Like, I had a lot more successful running career with cross country and track, where people, I wasn't seen as anybody like great. I wasn't a standout on the track, but I was a competitive runner, a lot more so than I was a competitive soccer player. And so that gave me a lot more pride than anything I did in high school soccer. Like, I had some goals I can look back on, some good assists, and most importantly, the time with friends is the main thing, which is why I always encourage younger kids to stay in sports. There's this idea, oh, I hate the sport. Well, if you really hate it, and yeah, quit. But the most fun I had wasn't because of the sport, it's because of the friends, the antics we would get in before the games. It's such a great opportunity to meet people. Y'all have a common interest, which is the sport, and God, there's some of the best memories I'll ever have. And just being on the team, like, you didn't have to be the best player, but if you can just be on the team, it's going to go by quick anyways. Kids drop out, because I need to focus on grades or some stuff. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, no, guys, like, this is your, where everyone's together. But yeah, like, this is coming from a guy who did 3 sports, all 4 years of school, so I was pretty dedicated. But, it's fun. Like, I can't even say, like, it was a big load. I didn't work as hard as I should have. I had some natural ability, thank God. I could confidently say that now. But, yeah, so for me, it was a real interesting time realizing that, okay, my purpose is kind of switching. Like, soccer will always be more important to me than running. Like, once I'm still looking at soccer teams to join than I am running teams. I don't think I'll ever be a runner like I was, but the fact I was just good at it and was able to become so much more successful at it so quickly was something that really, like, wow. And I never was extremely motivated to be a runner, but come race day, I was always, a competitive mind, and I learned a lot from it. And I just think, like, wow, if I had only focused on soccer, maybe I would have been better, but I wouldn't have learned those core values that were established. Or not even core values, just so many other learning experiences that happened because of not sticking to one sport, branching out more. The friends I made too, again, can't stress that enough. Like, all from these different sports, such different people. Oh, I was going to show you this cool mountaintop, but I don't want to get their license plates. I'll show you this cool. That's where I was sitting up at the top, beginning of the episode. Oh. But yeah, and that's the great thing. Like, there isn't one purpose in life. It's life. It's happening. You take from it what you can. Your purpose can change. Don't belittle yourself down to one purpose. If it's something you really, really love and are really good at, and then great, by all means. But still, even then, like, there's just so much around you. And I know now, when I go back into soccer, I'll still have my memories from running, all the other shit I got into senior year. It'll just be all these great memories and phases. Now I'm in this video camera phase, and this is becoming another kind of motivational thing for me to do. I'm always happy people watch it, but it's such a nice thing to be able to gather my thoughts, kind of balance myself out, and then on the plus side have people who are willing to tune in and listen to someone like me rant and ramble. It really is something else. Puts life in a really different perspective. Like, even if it only is 10 people, how interesting would that be to be sitting in a room with just 10 people knowing that they, I guess, not only like what you do, but have a mindset where they can critique it too, by all means. You know, give me more things to think about. That's what I think is so cool. I don't want people just coming in and fucking jerking me off. Not that they would. But just this linking minds together in the hope of understanding more is one thing I really like. Which I guess, raspy voice there. But yeah, it's just crazy. Time. This mountain formed with time. These trees, these shrubs, everything here growing will probably outlive me. Which is a strange but kind of cool thought. What does any of it mean, though? Go out and experience it. That's all I can say. The outdoors. I was watching... Oh, damn. I can't remember the guy's name. I'll find it right now. He's a really interesting personality from, I want to say, the 50s, 60s. George Orwellson, I'm pretty sure. Bear with me for a fucking moment. Oh, but yeah, pretty funny. He did this wine commercial drunk way back when. Okay, yeah. Orson Welles, if I'm saying that right. Orson Welles. Really cool old personality. Almost had one of the first kind of podcast-themed shows back in the 80s where it was a talk show, but, you know, wasn't a clean-cut, younger, smooth-faced guy. He's kind of just this rugged old man with a big microphone in front of him. So it's kind of funny seeing something like that out there. But yeah, he's just a really cool... I can't even think of the right word. Personality, individual. But I can't remember why I'm bringing him up now, to be honest. Looking here at my videos I have saved about him on YouTube, but yeah, it was odd. He could just drop into these really deep, sincere moments about life. He was interviewing, there's a show called Taxi from the 80s, I believe. Let me try and find it. There we go. Andy Kaufman had a show called Taxi in the 80s. And Andy Kaufman, as many comedians now are known for doing, or playing characters, even going into the late night talk show hosts. They'd play a character, and it was all good fun. So he's playing a character too on this Orson Welles guy. But Orson Welles is so sincere and just very well-spoken guy too, very literate, makes his points clear, and you can tell the guy, he was just complimenting the show, but it's just so weird hearing him talk about television back then. Just, I think, television is crime, a crime in itself. It's awful what's out there, but your show, it really, it's one of the best shows out there. You know, gestures to the audience. If you guys haven't seen it, you have to check it out. Or Andy Kaufman's wearing a fake neck brace, and he can hardly keep character, because it's like, it's almost too genuine how this guy's reacting. But and again, I think that's what meaning comes down to in life. Not Andy Kaufman and Orson Welles interviews, but just that really experiencing yourself and each other. Because both of those people in that interview were very self-aware people. Andy Kaufman, in two very different ways. Andy Kaufman, so self-aware of himself and everything around him, that gave him the ability to play all those parts and do what he did. Orson Welles was so self-aware in a intrinsic sense that he just had a strong personality. It was the same personality that he was just a brick wall. Like, doesn't need a poker face kind of guy because he's just has that intimidating thing, but then again, very welcoming sense to him too. You just know he's the strongest personality in the room. And I think Andy Kaufman realized that, and he wasn't used to that. Usually he doesn't break character because his personality's so strong and it's the host struggling, but Orson Welles just talking, bringing life, philosophy into it, and Kaufman was in this corner trying to like respond but still be funny. But no, it's really great that those things are out there. And yeah, really relish, alone time's great. I think it's good to be comfortable with yourself alone, but really relish the simple times you have with people. You're going to go and do great things with people you'll remember forever. Family, friends, trips. I've been recently going to Joshua Tree. I'll never forget these times, these phases in life. But really just take note of the little things. Some things I already regret. I can't even say regret. I try not to regret it, but fuck, man, like things pass by so quickly. I remember I had bowls I specifically would use for cereal for some reason. It was a childhood thought I established. These bowls are for cereal. And for a while, I did that into adulthood until, maybe 3-4 years ago, I stopped. And it came back to me the other day. I was like, wow, I could start doing it again, but no. It's over. It's good that I grew out of it. But all these little phases are going to come and go. And that's just a small cereal bowl. You're going to see siblings, kids, or cousins, a lot of people grow up around you, and before you know it, some of the little things that grounded you might fade away, replaced by other things that might ground you for the better or worse, who knows. And you don't want to become too aware of it, because then you get too melancholy, sentimental, oh, time's passing, but it's good to have a good sense of what's happening and changing. That way, you can prepare for what's to come, or, if you want, start using the cereal bowls again, or that was an analogy. If it's something you think, oh yeah, that was nice doing, then perfect. You can go back to it again. But, some things you don't have that luxury of. You won't be digging through toy bins anymore. Your siblings won't be watching Band of Brothers all night on a school night, or your other siblings won't be, whether like it was homework stressing them out, all these odd phases. A certain dinner your mom cooked, a certain show that was on for 3 years or something that you just... And again, it is like a television. It just goes. You're just sitting there brain dead, and life just flashes before your eyes, all these different screens, and before you know it, you're at the end. But what does the end of the movie really mean? The credits roll. I'm being way too metaphoric, but... Yeah, and I guess one thing I told a lot of my friends, if there is no coherent meaning to life, and you are just living it like a movie that's bound to end and be replaced by another movie, well then you would want, if you'd want to make sure that, one thing, other people enjoy your movie, of course, but two, that you're content with it. If it's the last movie you're gonna watch when those eternal shades close over your eyes and you're left to play back every memory, emotion, thought you had, and maybe it happens in 20 seconds and it feels like an eternity, then damn, you better make sure it's the best damn movie. You live your life like you want to watch it over again, Live it like you want, like you're going to watch it over again. Like oh, should I really do this, you know it's the right thing to do, and you don't do it, you don't want to watch that shit on your deathbed. Like, fuck, why? You know, live it like you're gonna watch it over again. But yeah, what an odd, what an odd series of phases we find ourselves entangled in. You and me, us and them, really is a strange universe we're compiled in. But I am happy to share all these moments with you guys, everyone. It's other people that really give life meaning. Not just people, but the trees, the birds, the bees, all these different forms of conflicting perspective really make life a unique happening, a unique occurrence. Don't ever let that uniqueness, you know, fade away through your, seep away through your fingers. Always, if there's no meaning, even if you've convinced yourself there's no meaning, and I can't convince you the other way. Not that I probably said anything today that would, but there is meaning. But don't let the uniqueness fade from your perspective, because if it isn't meaningful, then it definitely damn is unique. Every moment you can be staring at a blank wall for fucking hours. You can live your whole life like that, just staring at a wall, and the universe wouldn't care. There's a uniqueness to what's going on that you can't shake, and no one should just, you know, willingly not accept. But I guess I'll get down to the lower side of the canyon and see if there's any cleaning up to do down there. Well, I made it to my last stop of the day. A nice little flat plateau, if that's even the word, over here. Luckily, which I should have recorded, I forgot my camera unfortunately, but I had a whole group of my buddies up here helping me clean one day. There's probably about 6 of us. We started with this area. We got it pretty tidied up, and we worked our way up all the way to the peak. We finished the first road. We probably got about 12 bags of trash, got a mattress out of the ravine. Fuck, they're gonna think I'm lying because I didn't record it, but no, I'm serious. It was probably the biggest clean out we did, which is why I should have recorded it. But you know, it's not all for fame. There's still plenty of trash to be picked up. But the reason there was 12 bags is because we cleaned out this, so it almost looked like someone just dumped a dumpster of garbage bags. So it's literally just cleaning up what was once already thrown away. But yeah, we missed a couple items up here that I'll get. Save yourself from stagnancy, guys. The local trails and canyons are a great way to do it. And if you're really stuck, again, come pick up some trash somewhere. There's always an abundance of it. But until the next episode, guys, I hope everyone takes care, makes some good changes, some self-benefiting decisions. And yeah, until then, this is EC from the Alterian Digest signing out.